I was officially offered a contract with Magic Ears, and I want to cover why I was debating, should I sign it or not?
I have already finished my basic info, interview, training, and trial class for Magic Ears.
But before we get into that,
Make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and you're not quite done yet. Go ahead and click on that bell so that way you can get notified about every new video that I've got coming on. After the trial class, I was really debating whether or not Magic Ears was going to be the good fit for me. And they clearly were happy with my performance. Obviously, I know that there was a few things that I needed to work on, just being unfamiliar with the platform and the way they do things a little bit differently that I'm used to. Just a few things, for example, they actually encourage you to have some incidental language, and they want you to just speak in English, whereas, usually VIP Kid, they want you to rein back that extra vocabulary that the kids aren't working on right now and may not understand. At least with VIP Kid, they think that, they want them to feel more comfortable, since the more they can understand, the more comfortable and open to learning they will become. Whereas Magic Ears, they want you to use that incidental language, like, let's see what's next, or, I wonder what's next. That sort of thing when you're switching in between slides and moving forward through the lesson, so that way there's no awkward silence or anything in between your slide transitions. However, I know that with VIP Kid we don't really do that, but I don't ever really feel like it's an awkward slide transition usually when I'm switching between slides. So I don't know, I guess I can kind of see both sides a little bit, but if the kids have no English background, then, they're just going to be like, what the heck is this teacher saying to me? Then the other thing is that when I was growing up, we were always taught, big A and small a. Now, VIP Kid has retrained me to say little a and not small a, but Magic Ears want you to say small a and not little a. So that's just another sort of adjustment thing. But all those things, that's not that big of a deal. I can get used to that, right? Well, I did get my agreement in my contract, and so they offered me a base pay of $9 per class, and then of course they have the participation incentive up to $1 per class as showing up on time. But for Magic Ears, showing up on time means that you have to get to your first class 15 minutes early. So if that's absolutely going to be your first class of the day, and you're just going to mostly just, teach for Magic Ears and then kind of fill in your schedule with VIP classes, maybe short notice, then I can see that kind of working. But if you are trying to open up VIP Kid classes, you can't have a VIP Kid class before you have your Magic Ears class. If you want to get that $1 bonus per class, you would have to have like a buffer time in between your classes. So I mean, it just kind of sucks. You end up losing that dollar. So in that aspect, VIP Kid would end up being more money for me, even though my base is $1 less, because I know that I can always get my participation incentives with VIP Kid. And then I also can always get my class bonus for VIP Kid, because for Magic Ears, you have to open at least 60 classes during the peak times, specifically during the peak hours. Whereas VIP Kid, you have to at least teach 45 classes during any time during the month to receive that extra bonus dollar for each class. So I've always gotten that every month. So, and then if you look at their total per 30-minute and per hour, it actually works out to be the same, or maybe even a little less than VIP Kid, because I can get extra $2 bonus for, short notice classes and that sort of thing with a VIP Kid. I mean, it looks like Magic Ears has a standby bonus of $5, but I mean, how often do you really get a standby class? And if you have a standby class, that means that you're not teaching, you weren't booked during that initial time anyway, and that somebody else didn't end up teaching that class. So I don't know, that just means that you had an empty slot to begin with. So you're just kind of hoping that you get a standby class in order to get that $5 bonus, which, I mean, when I know that I can get basically 100% booked with VIP Kid, and then Magic Years is going to say, well, you're a brand new teacher with us, so we're going to, say that you're probably going to get about 80% booked as long as you get to this level within our tiered teaching platform. Then it doesn't really make sense to me. I'm going to end up losing money if I go to Magic Years, because I'm not going to be able to get the participation incentives or the peak incentives unless I go to Magic Years full time. And why would I go to Magic Years full time when they're not going to guarantee that I'm going to get 100% booked like I do with VIP Kid? So this doesn't make any sense. And then on top of that, I got my TESOL certification just for Magic Years. So that way, I was all set. And because I did the VIP Kid TESOL before when that first came out. So then I was like, okay, well, I have over 10 years experience teaching training, and now I've got this TESOL certification. I have a bachelor's degree, all this other stuff. Can you start me out at a higher base pay? No. So, well, you want me to sign the contract? No, thanks. And then, as it turns out, I found out some more information about Magic Years, which made me think that it's a good thing that I'm deciding not to sign a contract with them. Because, well, first of all, after teaching that trial class, that was a disaster. Oh my goodness. So I'm basically teaching level 2 material where you have full sentences and you're trying to have a conversation. But I've got a kid that should maybe be in level 1 or just learning just basic words. I could barely get her to repeat anything after me, first of all. And then then she would only repeat certain words that she was kind of familiar with. I started jumping for joy when she finally repeated apple. It was ridiculous. And so, but then the other kid that I have in there is trying to hold full conversations with me, wanting to know how old I am. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. So you have kids of different levels in the same class? That doesn't make any sense. And then I found out from another Magic Years teacher that that's not uncommon. So I'm going to have 4 kids, possibly all at different levels than what I'm supposed to be teaching. That is a mess. How are you supposed to be able to teach all of those slides and teach all those kids when they're not even on the right levels? Ridiculous. Make sure you also comment and like and let me know what else you'd like to see. I'm here to help you.